since the Taliban captured Kabul following the US's chaotic exit from Afghanistan after nearly 20 years of war. Today, tens of thousands of Afghans who worked with the US military during the war remain in that country, living under the constant threat of retribution from the Taliban government. And even those Afghan allies who were lucky enough to make it to the US are not in the clear. Their temporary protected status was taken away by former Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem. And there have even been threats of deporting some back to Afghanistan. Jason Kander is an Afghanistan veteran who pulled off an incredible rescue mission in 2021 to evacuate around 400 Afghans, including his interpreter's family. He went on to found the Afghan Rescue Project. He joins me now. Jason, welcome. Let me ask you first, 5 years after the fall of Afghanistan, you served there, you were intimately involved in the country. What are your thoughts on what does America have to show for a 20-year war in Afghanistan?
There's a couple things we have to show for it. We shouldn't forget that we did not have another 9/11 type attack on American soil after 9/11. And that is because we did succeed in denying an external sanctuary from which to train to international terrorists and particularly to Al-Qaeda. That's important. We shouldn't forget that that happened. Now, did we overreach after that and try and build a democracy in a country that may not have been ready for it? Yes, we did. And in that way, we did not succeed. However, if you ask anybody who is an Afghan who lived in that country during that 20 years, there is no doubt that their life improved greatly during that period. And now there's a diaspora around the world, and sadly, somewhat still in Afghanistan, of people who understand the value of freedom and will fight for it wherever they are. And that is something for which we should be proud. For all the mistakes, that is something for which Afghan veterans should look back and be proud.
Tell us about your reflections on that crazy, chaotic withdrawal and the Biden administration. Was it that the Trump administration, first Trump administration, had already signaled that they were on their way out? Was the withdrawal itself mishandled? What are your thoughts?
Can I just say yes to all of the above with a caveat, which is that there's no question that the first Trump administration did not set the Biden administration up for success. And we should also credit the Biden administration for pulling off the largest humanitarian airlift in human history. And at the same time, we should be realistic that after the end of August of 2021, nobody in the Biden administration for a period of months really wanted to talk about Afghanistan because of the political pressure that they were under. And that's when folks like myself and others got involved in private efforts. But we should also credit the Biden administration because after several months, they saw the error of that and they began to partner with organizations like ours. And that led to about 5,000 people a month, Afghan allies who faced Taliban retribution, getting out of the country and their lives being saved. And that happened all the way to the end of the Biden administration and then abruptly stopped. And so at the beginning of the Trump administration, there were, as there are today, about 260,000 Afghan allies, men, women, and children in that country who are basically in hiding and are a permanent underclass at risk of being killed or imprisoned at all times, and who we broke a promise to because President Trump made that decision on his first day in office.
I saw Elon Musk in an interview with The Economist say that we should only let in people into the United States who share our democratic values. And I was thinking about all those people who we left behind in Afghanistan who were literally dying in a foreign mountainous land with a strong Islamic and tribal tradition, who believed so strongly in liberal democracy that they had risked their lives, their families' lives for it. And they're the ones we're denying the ability to come to the United States, right?
Absolutely. And furthermore, look, folks like myself who put on the uniform and deployed to Afghanistan, I knew that as long as I survived it, I was going to get to go home. It wasn't like I was going to live the rest of my life worrying about the Taliban finding me. If you had the courage to fight for democracy in Afghanistan as an Afghan, that's a whole other level. Your deployment doesn't end. But we promised them that if they put themselves out there and things went south, we would, if it became necessary, end that deployment for them and bring them to safety. And it is a great moral injury on every person who served in that country, even if it's somebody they didn't personally know. We feel that we personally made that promise to all of them.
So in a sense, you're saying this was a promise that American troops personally made to Afghans that their country is now reneging on.
Absolutely. When I made the decision, really, frankly, kind of a crazy decision at the time, that my friends and I, fellow vets and others, were going to work to try and bring a bunch of our allies to this country, despite the fact that the U.S. had already pulled out of Afghanistan and it seemed impossible. We were doing it because we couldn't imagine living the rest of our lives not doing everything we could, because we felt we had made that promise ourselves. Our country, yes, had made that promise, but that didn't feel any different than us making it ourselves. And now, my translator's family is here, and, their kids refer to me as Uncle Jason. My kids refer to their kids as their cousins, and they're making a great difference in our community, and it's made Kansas City better. And that's happening throughout the country, but it should be happening more.
Jason, thank you.
Thank you for having me, Fareed.
Next on GPS,